Oh, what it do? It's your boy Merle. Today we got a story time. Our first story time. I had to start y'all off with a crazy, brazy one, okay? He lied about his mom being dead. What? Alright. So before we start off, obviously y'all know that I'm gay. I mean, if you didn't know that yet by being on my channel, looking through all my videos, you need help. I was dating somebody. Let me just start off from the beginning. I started dating somebody years ago. Like, I was working at Subway, and this was like, I was like 19 at the time. I was working at Subway, and my manager at the job, one day, I didn't think nothing of it. At this point, when I was 19, I wasn't like quote unquote out, I guess you should say. One day I come home and I get a text message from my manager basically saying like, I have a question. Usually as a, a gay person or someone who is like unsure of their sexuality or struggling or whatever the case may be, when somebody says, I have a question, usually they're gonna ask you like, are you gay or something like that. Like, I've gotten that my whole life and stuff like that. So I already knew what type of time it was. Usually guys don't ask you that though, it's usually girls. So when he asked me that, normally prior to that point, I had always said no, just because I never really thought about it like that. I was always like a goofy type of person, into fashion, into friends, into like music and stuff. So I was never really worried about dating. Like, yeah, I had girlfriends and stuff, but it was never like, I was never like super like on it, like how my friends were. Like, the homies would be like, oh, bitches, yada yada yada. I was never really like that type of person. I would go along and hang out, but it was never like my concern. It was more so just hanging out with friends, having fun. He asked me, was I gay? I said yes. And from there, we started dating. Now, I'm gonna save the rest of that story for another story time because that's not what this is about. But pretty much that's when I was 19 and I am now in my late 20s. So, let's just say lots of years have passed and we have dealt with each other on and off throughout all those years. Okay, so then fast forward to 2017. Yeah, 2017. I'm from San Diego, California. So I was on my way to New York. I basically was about to move to New York with one of my best friends at the time. And right before I moved, me and this guy, he doesn't even deserve a name, but me and this guy, should we give him a name? We're just gonna call him D. We're gonna call him D. So me and D basically reconnected at this time. And this was pretty much like, I wanna say October, this was like September 2017, around that time. We had reconnected. He basically, I remember like vividly, we were like on FaceTime and I don't know how it came up, but he was like, yada, yada, yada. Like, I've been dealing with a lot. Like, my mom died and passed away and all this stuff. And I'm like, your mom died? And I'm so goofy. Like, I mean, I do take things seriously, don't get me wrong, but like with certain people, you just know when they're like full of shit or like playing around, especially if you know people's personalities, I know this person. I'm like, boy, stop playing. It was like that type of vibe. So I just start dying laughing, like, shut up, like, why are you playing? He gets all serious and like emotional, like, why are you laughing? This isn't a joke, this is serious. Like, why would you be laughing at my mom dying? And he was just going off on me, and then he starts bawling, crying, right? And I'm like, oh my God, like, I feel so bad. Like, this is ultimately the love of my life, and his mom died, and I'm laughing. So I start getting emotional too, because I actually know his mom. That's the gag, right? I know his mom. I've been to, their house a million times, spent the night, all type of stuff. Me and the mom done talked, chatted. She used to call me Sunshine because I'm always like smiling and, just like happy-go-lucky. I know her. So it was like a different feeling, I was like, oh, damn, like, his mom died. That's crazy. Like, okay. So he got me basically, and I think like later that night or the next day, like within the next few days, I went over to like his house or where he was at, and we kind of just like spent the night together and stuff like that. And it was like an emotional night. He broke down talking about, he just was going through a lot with kind of being like, he has two sisters, one older, one younger. He is kind of always feeling like the man of the house or like the breadwinner and stuff like that. And you know, his mom's gone, so you know, a lot on his plate. So you know, I felt for him and stuff like that. But of course, we never just could like be on the same page with like dating and all this other type of stuff. Like, I mean, when I get into these stories, y'all gonna be gagging because it's so much shit with this dude. Like, over these years, y'all are not gonna believe what I be telling y'all. After that moment, you know, I ended up still moving to New York. Like, you're not about to stop me from moving. And that was kind of that. So, and then I didn't really talk to him while I was in New York. So then I left New York, I moved to Vegas within like 6 months. New York was for the birds. Maybe I'll do a story time about my experience in New York. So I had moved to Vegas, and while I was in Vegas, we basically like, I don't know if like he texted me or something like that. We got back in contact. Same thing, like, you know, his mom's dead or whatever the case may be, and we're just going on with our lives, chitting and chatting. I see on Snap, see, this is the thing. If y'all gonna be doing dirt, if y'all gonna be lying and shit, like, you gotta be smarter than that. You gotta be smart about it. So I'm on Snap, and mind you, I have his sister on Snap. Now, at the time, to be honest, like, me and his sisters are cool. So I didn't really think nothing of it, of me having his sister on Snap. Like, she has me, I have her, like, whatever. But I don't think that he knew, well, he didn't know that I had his sister on Snap at that time. And this was 2018, like the top of the year, like March. I can remember, it's so crazy I remember these dates. Like, it was like March 2018, and I'm on his sister's Snap, and she posts a picture of her, their younger sister. So this is the older sister. So the older sister, she posted a picture of her, their younger sister, the boy D, and guess who else was in the picture? Take a wild guess. You already know, their mom. So immediately, my cousin was there with me at the time. I'm like going in. I'm like, what the hell? Like, what the fuck? Like, what is going on? Type of thing. Like, oh, hell no. On Snap, it tells you when a picture is from the camera roll or if it's just like a picture you took with the Snap camera. So if you took a picture with like, you know, your phone camera, if you saved a picture to your phone from the internet or whatever the case may be, and you upload it to Snap, it's always going to say camera roll at the top, no matter what. So if it was an old picture, it would have said camera roll at the top. Now, mind you, in the picture, they all looked like how they look now, like present day. And the mom, where she was already like a mom and older, like when I had first met her, but she was looking a little bit more aged. So I was like, this is a recent picture. And on top of that, at the top, it didn't say camera roll. It was like, you know, 20 minutes ago or what, you know, whatever the thing is. Basically, it was taken with the Snap camera. So he was lying about his mom being dead. Like, but me being just so like, oh, this is my soulmate, the love of my life. Like, I know we're gonna end up together one day. For some reason, I like talked myself out of it. And I just like, I don't know. I just believed that I was delusional or something, which is always go with your gut instinct. Like, you know what's right and you know what's wrong. I'm the type of person that, you know, thrives on like gut feelings. I just follow that. I don't really second guess. So in that moment, I second guess myself because it's him. And with this one person, I used to act just so just dumb with. I just kind of like convinced myself that didn't happen. Like, that picture never happened and stuff like that. And I kind of just let it go. So fast forward, I moved to Atlanta. I know, I move a lot. I've lived all across the country. So that same year, 2018, I moved to Atlanta, I wanna say July 2018. So it was pretty much a few months after that picture. August 5th is his birthday. I don't know what came over me. Maybe I was just like lonely and bored or whatever, but I basically like hit him up on his birthday, like a happy birthday type of thing. And we got back in contact. And when we got back in contact this time, like, we pretty much talked like all day, every day, just on the phone, FaceTime, all that. Cause he's in San Diego and I was in Atlanta. And I think at this moment, I got so invested with him because it was like, now we're adults. I just like felt more invested with him. We like shared things that I felt like we've never really talked about when we were younger. Because, you know, when you're young, you're like immature or you're not really, you know, as comfortable with yourself as, you know, as you may become when you're older. So I just shared so much with him. He shared so much with me. We just became like so close. And then it came to a point where like, okay, I'm about to move back to San Diego and like, you know, like I want to be with you type of thing. So fast forward, I end up moving back to San Diego. He picks me up from the airport. You know, we spend the night together. Everything's cool. Everything's good. Couple weeks pass. He starts acting kind of funny and stuff like that or whatever. And I'm just like, oh gosh, here we go. It's always something with him. Like, you know, and I gotta don my Inspector Gadget hat, like, and start lurking and shit, trying to figure out what's the tea. Like, why is he acting like this? Mind you, I know all the people that he surrounds himself with, his friends, his sisters, and stuff like that. So I'm just like, I have them on Snap and stuff like that. So I'm like trying to figure it out. Like, what is going on? I will get into another story time about him basically playing me and dating the boy that I beat up in 11th grade. Besides him playing me, trying to act like he ain't, you know, dating nobody else, I noticed a couple things. The family and the friends, everybody's basically posting pictures this one day of, it's like, I guess his mom's birthday. This is D. So I guess it's D's mom's birthday. But mind you, she's dead, right? Okay. You know, it's like, oh, you know, it's my mom's birthday. And I'm like, of course, if your mom's dead, like, you can still remember her birthday and celebrate and stuff like that without her being here. Like, you know, her memory lives on and stuff like that. I understood that. So that was cool. Why did they go out to dinner or to eat? It was like, I don't know, brunch or something. It's literally all the friends and family at the table. And guess who's sitting right in the middle of the table being honored for her birthday? But you guessed it, the mom. Like, his mom was sitting there front and center, like live in effect, coming at you direct. And at that point, I just was like, I was just broke. I just was like broken. Like, after everything we've been through at this point, you know, at that point, it was like 8 years of us just dealing with each other and just all the emotions and dealing with exes and dealing with friends and dating, just all this shit that we have just been through. And I'm thinking, you know, you can be real with me, we can be true with each other. It's not even that serious. Like, it's not like we're married or anything, so keep it G. And the fact that you would lie about that, what else would you lie about? Like, your mom is alive and breathing. And some people would be like, oh, well, maybe he just said like his mom is dead to him. No, because then you would say your mom is dead to you. You would not reiterate 1, 2, 3, multiple times, my mom is dead, my mom is no longer here. You wouldn't be crying about your mom being gone and all this type of stuff. Like, literally going into depth about his mom being dead, like finito. And she's alive and well, breathing and kicking, and y'all hanging out, celebrating her birthday and stuff. So at that point, I just was like, not only are you, you know, you played me with this raggedy boy, but you also lied about your mom being dead. So I cut him off for good or whatever, and he can go to hell for all I care now. I mean, he's going to hell for lying about his mom being dead. Nonetheless, it's just like, who does that? What? I would never do that. Even if I didn't talk to my dad or I didn't talk to my mom, or, you know, I didn't care for what she's done to me or whatever, I would never be like, she's dead, or tell somebody that I'm in love with or that, you know, is in love with me or that I have this history with and that knows my mom, and to be like, oh, she's dead and she died this, and why are you laughing at my mom and like trying to make me feel bad about your mom being dead and all this type of stuff. It's mind boggling to me, like, that somebody would do that. So after that, you know, I haven't spoken to him at all. And I don't want to, I was gonna say I wish him well, but to hell with him. Like, I know he going to hell with gasoline draws. Like, you lied about your mom being dead. You try to convince people that your mom is dead, like physically not on this earth anymore. And she's not. And use a raggedy hoe. And you're gonna get what you deserve. Anywho, that's the story time about the time that D lied about his mom being dead. So if you like that, make sure you give me a thumbs up, comment down below, subscribe to my channel, check out my Spotify playlist, SoundCloud, all my social media in the description box, and I'll see you in the next one.